Greetings, humans. Greetings, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Beer here, 29-year veteran of the woods. That's where beers live, don't you know? And 7 out of 8 TikTok women, they would agree they'd rather see a bear in the woods than a man in the woods. It's YouTube's #1 show. Bye, Beer. Your emotional sport animal, people. Great to have you all here with us today on another great episode. A Saturday, a lovely Saturday for old Beer out here. Enjoying the outside. Once again, the boats everywhere. Ah, boy, you've never seen rednecks on a parade until you've seen like 50, 100 boats go by blasting all sorts of music, and you're like, gosh dang it, people. I just want number 1, rest and relaxation, and number 2, fish. I got all these people in the way, people. All these people in the way, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it, Amy. Don't you worry about a thing here. Yes, indeed. Well, hello. Hope you're doing well out here. All right, let me check. My levels are low? No, levels are fine. Levels are fine. It was just the headphones that were a little bit low. We will, people, endeavor one of these days to do a professional show. I hate to break it to you, but it's not going to be today, but we're going to do our best efforts. What, I'm like 2 minutes in and I've already screwed it up. So we will stumble back on track, right the ship, get the train back on the tracks, figure out how to do a professional show here, people. But I want to say thank you all for showing up here. Let me just jump right on into it because I've got a campaign update for you great people out here, including from, well, let me get to it. Titan, Mouse of Might, Miasma, Gary S. Shipman, which I've heard, pardon me here, people, I've heard that he had, it sounds like Titan number 10, so he's been releasing volumes of 3 each. So it would have been Titan number 9 that ended it the last time. So he's coming out with a new Titan for you good people. Hopefully it's going to do better than 13704, people. I'm going to see if they actually end up doing another Comicsgate live show. Maybe asking old Uncle E if he might bring on one Gary Shipman to the show and see if we could get some books sold that way here, people. Yes, indeed. Nice. How's Gary doing? Well, I haven't talked to Gary. You know, we're not like pen pals or anything like that, but I would assume he's doing okay. I just happened to see it in the community post. It was coming. He was going to make an announcement for Titan, I guess 10, Titan X, if you will. So we shall see, Amy. We shall see. But next time I see Gary, I will ask him. I'll say, listen, Gary, there's a lot going on, but one Amy Lester wants to know if you're doing okay. Yeah. We need to get him back on D&Q. I must have missed the show the other night, Amy, so if you happen to won, congratulations. Congratulations, I just didn't happen to see the show, so we need to get him. I think he's been doing, what is it? Whatnot. Whatnot, so I don't know anything about Whatnot. I couldn't tell you. Whatnot from what's, what would be the opposite of whatnot? I don't know, people. Drawn a blank, people. That's, sometimes Beer has blanks in his head and, just can't get past it here, people. Not at all. But, anyways, go check out Titan, Mouse of Might, Miasma. Link right down in the description if you want to go check it out. And speaking of Uncle E, it would also help if I had my trusty glasses on, people. Oh, there you go. That's blurry. 800. Holy moly. 824,794. I think that came up quite a bit from the last time that we were here. So congratulations, sir. Keep it up. You're doing an excellent job here. Let's see, I'm at work, so I'll be in and out possibly, says Peabo. Oh, gosh dang it, P-Money. The one day that I was going to be talking about the Edmonton Oilers versus the Florida Panthers. Well, I guess we'll just have to broom that. And, Amy, I guess we're going to do no, we're not going to do a fashion show, I promise you. We will not do a fashion show. I gotta wait till P-Money is actually here and not distracted. And then we'll do our semi-annual fashion show. But we will endeavor to move on here, people. I'll probably be might be mostly just listening to Bear's news stories of the week. And we got some great ones, P-Money. We got some great news stories this go around, so hang tight. Hang tight. Anyways, 824, almost 825. 7,336 backers. Congratulations. Yay, says Amy. Oh yeah, wouldn't want P-Money to miss out on the fashion show. Yeah, I can't do that. You know, you gotta sneak it in, Amy. You really gotta sneak it in. You gotta have P-Money or other people coming in thinking, oh, okay, it's gonna be this type of show. And then at the last minute, you kind of switch it up on them and say, aha! Now it is a fashion show. I almost did it. They had some sort of AMA awards that nobody went to. But like J-Lo had like 20 different changes of dresses. So I was thinking about doing the different, like 50 shades of J-Lo. But I decided against it. Although I'm interested to know how Bear feels about a replay of hockey with Edmonton once again facing Florida. Well, watch out, Edmonton. You're probably going to get your best players knocked out, and you're going to go to the NHL Players Association, the team up there in Toronto to say, hey, won't you check this out? And it's like, yeah, no, kind of like the refs in the Tampa Bay, Florida game. They're like, huh, what, who, where? They're doing their best Stevie Wonder impression. Like, I didn't see nothing, man. I'm Ray Charles over here. I didn't see nothing going on. Oh, wait, no, I did see the Tampa Bay guy. Yeah, I saw him over there. But Florida, huh? What? Who? Huh? Where? Yeah, that sort of deal. That's going to be my impression. But, listen, I don't know. P-Money, you're going to have to twist Bear's arm here. I'd like to keep it in Florida, honestly. But, I will reluctantly, very, very reluctantly, root for Canada. I think that we should have something in there where, if Canada loses, they become the 51st state. So they'd have a little bit more to play for other than the Stanley Cup. They're playing for family and country as well. They don't want to become the 51st state. So yeah, that might be a way to go about it. So the rest are a little bit squirrely. That's an understatement, Amy. They literally knocked out the goalie for Toronto. Florida did. He was out there puking on the bench. He came over just like hurling. Never saw him again for the rest of the series. I think, what was that, P-Money? Game 1 or Game 2, maybe? Might have been Game 1, I think. I don't even think they got out of the first period. That guy was puking on the bench. Never saw him again. So, yeah, the refs, what? Puke? I don't see nothing. Carry on. Carry on to Chuck. Carry on, Sam, what's-his-face. Go ahead, Reinhardt. Anyways. Yes, I know, Amy. I know. Eli says, well, where I live in the prairies right now, we're dealing with wildfires like California. Watch out. Watch out. Hopefully your governor isn't in, like, Mozambique or whatever the heck the LA mayor was there, and they're like, oh, yeah, we got no water in our fire hydrants. Whoops-a-doodle. Whoops-a-doodle. Make sure you pay your taxes, though. So we might as well be in the States. Yeah, maybe. Come on over. Come on, hang out and be a 51st state, people. Yes, me. How the heck did we get way off topic here, people? I have no idea. Go check out Cyberfrog if you dare, people. If you dare. But I've got, P-Money, Amy, I've got quite a great update here for you good people. That'd be Graham Nolan, people. I feel like I've been doing Graham Nolan for like the past couple shows. Pardon me, I've got the burps here. Been trying to hold back the hold on. There we go. There we go. Now we will do a professional show. From Graham Nolan, he says, shipping update. Good news, my patient backers. The books have shipped from the printer and should arrive here on Monday. They're going to begin fulfillment, immediately beginning unpacking, checking them, and then fulfillment will begin. We greatly appreciate your patience, but it will be worth the wait. Compass Comics will never knowingly ship out misprinted products. Take that, Eric July. It is important to us to get it right for you, our valued customers. Unlike the people over there at Rippaverse, which are apparently misprinting and doing all sorts of weird stuff. Can't wait to get these into your hands. That's the best from Julie and Graham, people. So there we go. We've been following this. They had to send the books back because evidently there was some, I forget if it was damaged or it was a misprint or something along those lines there. He had to send it back. It wasn't up to Graham's high standards there at Compass Comics. So good on him. Good on you, Graham. Good on you, sir. I am giving the old bear salute here. Bear salute. So both to you and Julie out there. So there you go, people. There is your one and only campaign update for the evening here, people. So hold that close to your heart. Hold it close to your heart, people. Alright, we've got P-Money. I have very, very important news updates for you today here. So let's jump right on into it. Bring you people in here as well. There we go. A weekend update here, people. Box office bonanza, people. It continues for yet another week, people. They are reeling in the cashola. Lilo and Stitch. $60 to $64 million in a second weekend, people. If you would have had that for the first weekend a couple weeks ago, they would have been singing your praises. This is the second weekend. 60 to 64 million. Mission Impossible coming up to 27 million in its second week. Karate Kid, not so much. They're saying 21 plus. It's gonna be lucky if they get 21. So we will see. We are still. Wait, what? Hold on. Yay. Let's see. We are still. So I'm assuming next week is our monthly awareness info. Yeah. Oh, we are still in May. We are still in May. Yes. Peabody Bear's thoughts on that is why do the month ahead? I know it's tomorrow. Bear has a tenuous grasp on the concept of time, but I can't read a calendar. So no, we're only going to do the months of when it turns the month of. So if it happens to be on the 3rd or the 4th, that's when we're going to do it, people. So you gotta wait till then. Yep, says Amy. Wednesday indeed. I do not have. Look, okay, I got Lilo and Stitch, I got Marvel Skip It Out, I got Superman's story, I got another interesting story here. And I got a space story as well, people, so we've got plenty to talk about. So, no, I do not have any months up. I haven't looked ahead, so... Sorry, I got nothing for you. I know it's something called Pride Month? I'm not really sure what that means, people. Apparently there's some sort of, very happy people out there, I assume. I'm not really sure how all that works, but there's something called Pride Month, apparently. Not really sure how that works out, people, but we'll get into that on Wednesday, people. We'll get into that on Wednesday, man. Alright, back to it here. From Anthony D'Alessandro, a red deadline. Let's see, it's a solid weekend following Memorial Day, a holiday, with all titles $144 million, people. 117 plus % from last year, people. So there they go. They're saying rejoice. No, it's not the biggest for the post 4-day holiday during the post-pandemic times. Weren't they doing oh no, they did do the 4-day. Mission Impossible was only 3-day. They were trying to mess around with some of that. And it belongs to 2023 when Sony's all-pleasing fanboy, and some might say fangirl, animated movie Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse led all titles to a $205 million marketplace. However, out of 22 weekends in 2025, pardon me, got the freaking burps here, people. 1 second. Ah, man, it's like right there. I hate that. I hate that when you're trying to talk and you got it like right there. Yeah, tough. Anyways, 22 weekends in 25, only 10 of them have grossed north than 100 million plus, people. He says, I'm sure those novelty popcorn buckets and the circuits are still flying off the counter. Yeah, alright, man, alright. Let's go. Tale of the tape, people, as all of you are waiting here. Lilo and Stitch, look at this, people. 4,410 theaters. Holy macaroni. $17 million on Friday. Now, a negative 70%. That would be bad news. Bad news. But that's just the Friday. Again, we had a long weekend last weekend, so it's a little bit off. They're actually estimating over the 3-day weekend basically 60%, which is... it's okay. We usually look at week over week. Now, let's see. What they also might be doing is comparing the 4-day to the 3-day last weekend. I'm not exactly sure how they're doing that, but 50% you're doing really good. Anything less than 50% you're doing awesome. You know, the drop-off. Usually that means good word of mouth. People are telling friends, or they're going back the second weekend to go see it, you know, the second or third time. So they're right in there, $60 to $64 million. They are looking at 277 to 281 for 2 weeks. So, you know, you gotta say, good on Disney. Good on Disney for that. A lot of people are loving their Lilo and Stitch out there. So, it's in plenty of theaters. Plenty of theaters, people. Mission Impossible 2, Final Reckoning, it actually gained 4 theaters. They're also down 70%. Again, it's a Friday long weekend compared to a normal Friday weekend, so I don't know if that would be super comparable. They're saying the same, 58%, $26 million over the weekend, so they're doing good. They're doing good. 122 over 2 weeks. It was about a $400 million film, but they kind of split that between the 2 films that they were making. So, we don't have like quite a great grasp on exactly how much it made because they essentially they didn't quite make them back to back. But the biplane sequence, that was literally finished right after they did the part 1, I should say, the previous film. So they went and did that, and then they took a little break for a while, and then did the rest of the movie. So, you know, you could say a little bit of that biplane sequence would have been part of the previous movie. I don't think it would have cost $100 million, but anyways, in between there, Karate Kid 3, P-Money, he says, isn't the Karate Kid in his 30s? He's not a Karate Kid anymore. More like a Karate Kid elderly. A karate kind of elderly. What would it be? Karate Kid, let's see, collecting Social Security. Karate Kid and my aging hips. Karate Kid, what would it be? Where's my Ovaltine? Something along those lines. I think it had, from Sony, I think it had Jackie Chan in it, if I remember correctly. I thought Jackie Chan retired at one point. He's a karate man, says Amy. I'll give Tom Cruise credit for an 8th Mission Impossible and still making over $100 million. I would recommend it, B-Money. You know, it's funny. Beer gets out of the theater, literally gives everybody a review of it. I said, it's good. Go check it out. It's a good popcorn-type summer movie. A little long. Make sure you can find the bathroom pretty quickly and time it out. But It was a good movie. Good movie. And then I get in my feed, Mission Impossible, oh, the worst. Mission Impossible, oh, it's horrible. Mission Impossible, is it woke? No, it's not woke, for crying out loud. Has too many female parts in there, but female characters. I don't mean female parts. I think that is a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was great. It was great. Go see it. If you enjoyed the previous movie, you're going to enjoy this movie as well. So I'd recommend it. I don't know what all these other people saw. One of these guys that I really like and respect out there, he was trashing it. He's like, I don't know what happened to Christopher McQuarrie. Like, he made it big time, and he's doing the studio thing. So good on him. Good on. I really like Christopher McQuarrie. Really great director. Really great writer. One of Bear's sort of long-term inspirations. He won the Oscar for Usual Suspects years and years and years back. Made a movie, a great movie. It's called Way of the Gun. I would recommend that. Go see that. Just watch the car chase scene if you can find it on YouTube. Actually, go find the start of the movie there with Sarah Silverman. That was hilarious. I've always enjoyed Christopher McQuarrie. I'm glad that he's doing great. On top of the game now, so I nothing but great things to say about him. So congratulations. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go see it, says Peabody. Probably better than Captain America. I'm so sorry, sir. I told you. I didn't even have to see the movie, and I could tell you that it wasn't going to be a good movie. So, there you go. So, definitely go check it out, Peabody. I would say if you can, go see it in the big IMAX if you've got one of those. But if not, hey, go check it out. It's a good popcorn movie. You're going to enjoy it. Bear's not going to steer you wrong. I'm not going to sit out here and say, oh, freaking Final Reckoning, it's awful, give me clicks. Like, listen, I'm just going to tell you my thoughts. If I think it's a bad movie, I'm going to tell you. If I thought it was a good movie, I'm going to tell you. I'm telling you, it's a good movie, man. Go check it out. Haven't seen Karate Kid. Final Destination. It's our next movie at number 4 here. Bring Her Back. Bring her back? Who? Bring who back? Why would they want to bring them back? $7 million their first week. So, Final Destination doing pretty good, though. $100 million on 3 weeks. There you go. It was the black Captain America, the Falcon fella. He's like, I'm the new Captain America. I'm like, well, why didn't they make the guy in the Thunderbolts movie the Captain America fella? Was he like Private USA or something like that? I forget his name, but just make him Captain America. It's gonna be fine. Let's see, the only place to see IMAX here has the worst expensive paid parking to leave your vehicle, even for a 2-hour movie. Well, you're in luck, Peabody, because it's over 2 hours, so you're definitely gonna get your parking money's worth. I'm sorry to hear about that. Maybe, I don't know, you can have somebody drop you off or take an Uber? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't recommend, people going every weekend to go see the movies, but when there's something good out, go check it out. Go check it out. I would say go see it in the theater rather than waiting until you're the streaming. You're just going to get a better experience, honestly. Number 6. Look at this, people. $267 million for Sinners. Which, by the way, speaking of Mission Impossible, Sinners had the IMAX kind of locked up for several weeks. Mission Impossible was supposed to come out like a couple weeks prior to when it did, but Sinners actually had the IMAX theaters locked up, so that's why they came out last weekend, and that's why they were kind of button heads with Lilo and Stitch. They were supposed to have their own weekend, but didn't work out that way. Thunderbolts! Exclamation point. Asterisk mark. $181 million. Actually, that's not bad. That's not too bad. 5 weeks, I think it cost 150, 125, something along those lines. So, they're doing good. Friendship? I don't know. The Last Rodeo. Let's see, $10 million. Not bad. Not bad for an Angel Studios. And of course, The Accountant 2, which will probably be on streaming in another week or so. So there you go. There you go. And a notable, The Phoenician Scheme. Check this out, people. Check this out. Look where we're at here. They have 6 theaters. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 theaters. $270,000 on Friday. A 3-day, almost $500,000. You're like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, hang on. Something ain't right here. Wait a minute, hold on. When The Accountant 2 only made $214,000 on Friday, and it's in 820 theaters. How do they get 6 theaters and they're doing just about the same? How did that work out? How did that work out? I'll tell all my friends a friendship is only worth $12 million apparently. Yeah, or even less. Or even less. All right, here we go. So here's a little asterisk marks on The Phoenician Scheme with what's his face? Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson. And his Tweedledum theater. You know, I make fun of James Gunn just doing the static shots of stuff, but yeah, Wes Anderson takes the cake on that one. They're doing really well. $95,000 from 6 New York and LA theaters. Like, wow, that's quite a lot. Angelica in New York led all theaters with $78,000 in one day. You're like, wait a minute. Hang on now, there is something odd about that. There is, people. You thought you were paying a lot of money to go park. $62 ticket. $62 for one ticket, people. That's in New York City. I don't even count parking. Right out loud. $62 for a, quote, immersive experience, they say. And of course, popcorn. Yeah, I better have an immersive experience, all right. Crying out loud. I better get, a little immersive on the wing or something like that. That better. Who is in this? Who is in this Phoenician Scheme? 1 second here. Hold on. Look at Phoenician Scheme. Who is in this? Who is Benicio del Toro, Mia Stapleton, and Michael Cera. All right. Whatever. Was it a live show? No, Amy, it was not a live show. It's one of these, like, Tweedledum shows out there from Wes Anderson. He's got a lot of fans out there that apparently are going to pay $62 a ticket for an immersive experience. And popcorn. You can pay, like, $10 for the Minecraft movie, and you'll definitely get an immersive experience, for crying out loud. Not even the Taylor Swift concert on screen cost that much. I know. Who was that guy the other day that was saying, theaters, they are a value proposition as compared to concerts and going to sporting events. And I'm like, yeah? How about $62 a ticket? So, yeah, there's their little thing for whatever movie that is. So, if you enjoy your Wes Anderson, then, yay! But $62 a ticket, I'm not so sure about that one, man. Not too sure about that one. So, anyways, those are the numbers, people. That's what you come to the show for. Not for fashion. Not even, for comic books, or any of the other stuff. No, it's for the numbers, people. Definitely for the numbers, people. Amy, did you go see that? I didn't know that you went to go see the Minecraft movie. If you recommend it, let us know in the chat. I've had my fill of Jack Black for the next 10 years, so I could do without a little bit of Jack Black for a while. That's for sure. Although Jason Momoa looked like he was having a whole lot of fun in that movie, for sure. He's always fun. He's not the greatest actor in the world, but he does a great screen presence, and I enjoy watching him. I remember he was on that Stargate show all those years ago, and He did a great job even way back. I think that was him, if I remember correctly. Anyways, great job. Great job out there. Alright, we talked about this on the last show, people. Marvel is delaying literally everything except for the Fantastic Four, which apparently is going through reshoots and trying to do a whole bunch of different ending because it's a really dumb ending. They're gonna they're gonna save the universe by destroying the universe, and then hightailing it into the multiverse to like our universe. Oh, okay, well, way to save the day, Fantastic Four! Yay! So apparently that is the scoop from old Doomcock out there. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will. Let's see. Amy says, "Yeah, it was bright and silly, very high energy. I think that's a good way to describe it. The movie felt like everyone, pardon me, burping. Everyone was having fun. So there you go." Listen, it doesn't have to be an Oscar winner. As long as you're going to the theater, not only are you enjoying yourself, but maybe the people around you, you have a different experience when you're in the theater rather than, you're at your house. Of course, you're spending way too much on, parking and popcorn and all the other stuff, but just being in the theater, laughing along with people, or, oh my God, oh, you don't go by that door, lady. Whatever the case is, it's always fun. Except for, when the kids or the babies, start acting up, or people are talking on the phone, or, stupid stuff like that. But, no, it's always good and enjoyable to go out to the theater. Yeah, good popcorn flick. There you go, Amy. There you go. Speaking of not popcorn flicks, or coming to Hall H in 2025 and skipping Comic-Con entirely, that'd be Marvel Studios, people. They are skipping it for the first time in many years. Anyway, says I can predict 90% what occurs in the next 2 Avenger movies. Oh, okay. Let's see. I ticked off my wife because right before we watched Infinity War, I says, I bet it will end with Thanos killing off half of the universe. Well, you were correct. Ever since, she said, keep your predictions to yourself. She won't let me tell her my predictions for these films. Well, don't ruin it, people. Don't ruin it. I don't know. Listen, I honestly don't care. Don't care. Anyways, the Avengers will have to wait to assemble in San Diego for another year, people. Marvel Studios will have a smaller presence at Comic-Con this year, skipping its annual blockbuster presentation at Hall H. Variety. Oh, by the way, Adam B. Very at Variety. They have confirmed, with Avengers Doomsday moving its release date several months next year, and also for the follow-on movie. The studio is holding its powder dry, sir, for Comic-Con 26, rather than suspend production in London to fly its cast of more than 24 stars. How do you put 24 people on the same? Oh, for crying out loud. How do you, like, what? I guess they got a couple movies that explain everything, but that's way too many. That's way too many characters, man. That's just. This is gonna be like 5 hours long. That's just more than 24 people. That's just silly. Oy, 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 oy. I like that idea, Amy. You can write your prediction and put them in a sealed envelope, like Johnny Carson. What was his character name? You'd have the envelope and then you'd open it. He would make the prediction and open up the envelope and it'd be right in there. So yeah, there you go. There you go. Make a sealed envelope. It's simply because I know the comics these are based on and which characters are appearing in the film. So P-Money has an encyclopedic knowledge of everything going on. Why even bother watching the film? Honestly. The company is still planning panels and events focused on its comics and games, as well as a booth that will play off the release of the Fantastic Four. Good luck with that. Which opens in theaters on the Friday of the annual fan convention. The stars of the film will appear at the fan convention in Mexico. What? Why? If you thought that the Fantastic Four was a really great film and you wanted people to go see it, why not, you can let people know ahead of time, hey, we're going to be delaying the Avengers. They're not going to be here, but you know what? Pedro Pascal's going to be here. Oh boy. And what's-her-face? And who's his name? And the other guy. They're all going to be here. Come on down to Hall H. Check us out. Go check out the movie that weekend. Instead, they're going to be in Mexico. Okie doke. Since the preview of Iron Man in 2007, San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel Studios has utilized the stage to showcase its upcoming features and make news with surprise appearances and the announcement of new titles. They've got none, people. They got none at all. Studios sat out the convention before. Oh, in 2023 due to the strikes, and 20 and 21 due to the pandemic, as well as 18, 15, and 11, largely due to lack of footage and or news. Well, they weren't pumping out movies left and right way back when. And that's it. And we're still waiting on a Blade movie. Back from 2019. Ay. Man, that movie is cursed, man. Movie is cursed, people. Cursed. Melissa jumps in at the last minute and says, the great Kernak. The amazing Kernak. There you go. Thank you. Thank you so much, Melissa. Great to have you here. So there you go, people. They are not doing too well over there at Marvel, and we're going to see how Fantastic Four does when it comes out in, did they say? On Friday. A couple weeks, I guess. So, if you're going to go to Comic-Con this year, there's not going to be a whole lot of Marvel stuff for you to check out. Even the stars from the quote-unquote stars for Fantastic Four are not going to be there. So, whatever, man. Whatever. Well, there goes Marvel. Well, I'm sure DC has got it covered, people. They know what's going on. They got a Superman movie coming out, and it's going to do boffo, people. Or that's what they tell each other. James Gunn's Superman allegedly underwent significant changes after test screening, and the runtime has been revealed, people. Yay! It's like, what? Unless it's like a 4-hour movie. I really don't care if the runtime. It's like, whatever. Karnak the Magnificent. Thank you. That is a deep cut, Melissa. Bear is going right off the top of his head, and Melissa's here to rescue Bear with the knowledge from the Tonight Show, way back when. It'll be interesting, says Peabody, to see if Fantastic Four come out around the same time as Superman. See which one comes out on top. I think Superman comes out. It's July, right? I think it says at the very end here, right? I forget exactly which. 122 minutes. Yay. I think it's next month, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was in July, but is it in June? I forget, honestly. But we'll see. And I forget when Fantastic Four comes out, so, I don't know if they come out at the same week or not, but, I bet you they stagger. Anyways, J.B. Augustine at Bounding into Comics. What does he have to say, people? Let's find out. Superman and DC might not appear to be in the same type of trouble as Fantastic Four. Oof. And he says, I'm more interested in Superman. Well, here we go. God, why does everything have to be center shots and just so blandly lit and just, there's no, man. It's very just workmanlike. It's like, okay, it's fine. This ain't no Richard Donner, man. You only go along for so long, pumping out Richard Donner tracks and trying to keep the nostalgia alive. It's like, come on, man, come on with something else. Oh, let's see, what else? But not everything is empowering. Sunshine and roses with the production. Month and a half. So, sometime in July. Thank you, Peabody. July 4th. Or, excuse me, July 11th. Fantastic Four is July 25th. I meant which one does better at the box office? Can we hope for casualties on both sides? Can we? I'm really just hoping for casualties for Superman. I could care less about Fantastic Four. I bet you Superman does better just because it has better name recognition than Fantastic Four does. Even though it's a Marvel film, I don't know if people, they're aware of the Fantastic Four, but is it like, how many people at regular folks that are going to go check out a movie on, whatever, July 25th, know about, the Silver Surfer and Galactus and stuff like that? They probably not a whole lot. I think on the flip side, people know about Superman, but they've, thrown in, look, how many are in this picture here? 2, 3 additional characters, plus they've got, Lex Luthor, and, they're bringing back, a whole bunch of people. Hawk Person, and, what's the lady, and the Green Lantern. They have way too many people in this, film, so, name recognition, probably more Superman. The best thing is wait till the second week and we'll figure it out then. So, I bet you Superman will do great the first weekend, and then we'll see what happens with the word of mouth. Which, by the way, according to a report from World of Real, we're all subscribed to them, aren't we? Tensions are high at Warner Bros. I was talking about that in the last show. Aware the Z-Man and DC studio heads, the Gunn and the Safran are scrutinizing every frame. Well, how about this frame right here? Why is it always got to be centered? Gosh dang it. What's going on with that? To avoid another franchise misfire, they say. Of course, sources close to the production, they say. And a mixed reception at a test screening that has the studio folks on edge, people. A part of the problem is Gunn's brand of humor. And also, the kid stuff as well, I would say, but that's a whole other story for a whole other time. Which may have dragged the film down in earlier, longer cuts. They say he, quote, leaned heavier on his joke. Oh, for crying out loud. We're gonna have a Superman just yucking it up. Oh, for crying out loud. No. Oh my god. Okay. Reportedly triggering a cascade of changes. Oh god. Because his superiors were not entirely sold. Which, by the way, the Gunn and the Safran are studio heads. They're literally the head of DC Studios. So the only other people that are his superiors are DeLuca and Abby, which sort of kind of have hands-on. The only other people are, the Z-Man and his direct lieutenants. That's it. So, if the CEO of the entire company is like, yeah, I'm not so sure about this one, might have some issues out here. Might have some issues. You know what? Less color would sure help this comic book movie, says Amy. I'm not saying the color, I'm just saying the lighting in here. It's all just, look, right here. Same lighting. This is supposed to be a dark scene, but it's still brightly lit. You can see everything that's going on. Again, it's, I complain about the Batman being so dark you can't see it, but, everything's center frame. Let's see another one. Literally center frame. God, I bet you he had like the horizon line on there. Okay, no. We gotta make sure this is center frame like everything else. And it's supposed to be a dark scene, but let's make sure that it's brightly lit in the center there. Yeah, it's just, oh god. We could do another Deadpool gentleman's bet, says P-Money. Once again, I was saying that Deadpool had to do really well, otherwise they would be really, really in trouble. The whole system would be in trouble. So, I wasn't saying Deadpool was going to do badly. I was saying, watch out. All right. Personally, I think, says P-Money, Fantastic Four will do better, even though I don't think either movie will be a monster hit. Let's see. Okay, all right, we will make that gentleman's bet, P-Money. I will say that Superman, I'm just going to say in the first weekend. We'll compare first weekend to first weekend, okay? First weekend to first weekend. Gentleman/Bears bet here. I think Superman's going to... I don't want it to do better. Let me go on record. I want Superman to flop, and flop hard, and take down a good chunk of DC Studios and also Warner Brothers Studios for various reasons. Right, Donald Faison? A little bit of side-eye there. Yes, there we go. Handshake. So, yeah, I would like to see Superman bomb, but, I think it's going to do well just based on name recognition. I think when people see it, and, where was it? Where were they saying? The brand of humor. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. And way too many characters. We'll see how that goes on the second weekend. But, yeah, I bet you Superman's going to do better than Fantastic Four. Handshake. Superman can still flop and still do better than the Fantastic Four. All right, listen, we're not saying flop or not flop. We're just saying strictly numbers based which one's going to do better. On the first weekend, comparing first weekend to first weekend. All right, back to the article. Changes including tone. Oh my God. We need to change the entire tone of this entire movie. We only have a month and a half to change the entire tone. Get rid of all that James Gunn. We brought James Gunn in here for his unique brand of humor and also the kid situation, but gosh dang that James Gunn and his unique brand of humor, we need to change the tone. Oh boy, couldn't happen in a nicer group of people. Let's see, a runtime that stands at 122 minutes at last counts. A trimmed comedic bits. They're not sure if it's going to have interdimensional cyber monkeys trolling social media. Good God. Who thought that... You know what? We here at DC Studios and Warner Brothers, we're not going to start production. We're not even going to think about production until we have a solid script in our hands, says James Gunn. You know what? We need to take out that interdimensional cyber monkeys. After we've shot it and spent all that money. Don't you think maybe somebody should have read that script other than James Gunn to say, hey, wait a minute, James. Hang on just a second. Interdimensional cyber monkeys? I don't know if that really belongs in a Superman movie. Not so sure about it. Instead, they shot it, apparently, and then they're going to cut it, so... Good job, James. Good job. Which movie will do less worse, says Amy? Yeah, that's a good question. They also, here's an editor was removed to facilitate... What? An editor was removed to facilitate a straight... So did they... What? I'm trying to figure out, did they take a editor off of another production? Or they had to remove the editor from this movie... to bring somebody else in, apparently. It's oddly worded here. They also hear an editor was removed to facilitate a slight reworking. Just a slight reworking of the film structure. No biggie. You know what we need is a completely different editor in this film. Oh, okay. That doesn't look too good. The report adds some key sequences were shuffled. Oh, okay. Nothing like shuffling key sequences in your film. And minor scenes were added during recent reshoots. and a slight shift in how the story was being presented. Oh, that's a nice way of saying we completely redid like a quarter of the film. Holy moly. Holy cow. They took out it. Okay, hold on. Let's go back here. Let's go back. They cut down the runtime, apparently, trimmed comedic bits that weren't working, possibly interdimensional cyber monkeys. They brought in a completely different editor. They say slightly. They reworked the film structure. They shuffled around key sequences. If you think that your script is airtight and you go shoot all that stuff, you don't get into the editing bay. You could, but you don't normally get into the editing bay and then say, hey, editor that we've had editing this film, get out of here. We're going to bring in somebody brand new and we're going to shuffle key sequence and then we're going to go film minor sequences. Hey-o, minor stuff. During recent reshoots and think that, yeah, that's all good. It could be, but man, oh man, that's going to be interesting. Holy cow, and then, we're not done yet, people, and then another composer was hired to reshape the score. Probably because they were leaning way too hard on John Williams' score. That's all that they had. They had a fun dog and they had John Williams' score, and that was it, people. That was it. Holy cow, they brought in another composer. Woo! Now listen, sometimes the Mission Impossible, the previous film, they brought in the score at like the last minute for that film. It did great. They did an excellent job with it, but man, oh man, okay, sure, a couple reshoots here and there, but, in addition to everything else, okay, we're bringing in another composer to reshape the entire score of the movie, which also goes back to, reworking the film structure. You gotta kind of, you hope to have the score and then kind of put your pacing to it, or just have the pacing and then bring in somebody to work on the score. Either way, but holy cow. Well, an insider called it a slight just a slight. We're bringing in a different composer, we're bringing in a different editor, we're trimming a whole bunch, we're reworking everything. That's just a slight correction, people. They're suggesting that the tone as well. Why not the tone as well? We're gonna rework that. Sure, not all. All in all is said, 25 minutes has been trimmed just to get to the 122-minute mark. And then now DC and Warner Brothers, although nervous, want to get the first entry of their new superhero right. Holy moly. Reportedly, there's greater confidence Superman will be not a great film, not a classic film, not an epic film. It's great confidence that Superman, after all this work, it's going to be a good film. It's going to be good. Be okay. Alright. That's fine. It's fine, Amy. It's fine. Just got to rework the structure. If they made a goofy movie and had goofy music, they'd have to redo the score. When they restructure the whole film, Amy, you're reading between the lines here. I've trained you well. Is that like saying World War II was a slight skirmish? Yeah, just a little border war between Germany and Poland. Nothing to worry about here, people. Nothing to worry about. Just a slight skirmish over there in Europe. Nothing to be too concerned about here, people. Let's see. One viewer on X shared a suspiciously similar but more basic report about the movie recently. Take it with a grain of salt, people. I've been told... Oh, okay, so it's second-hand. Alright, well, here we go. I've been told that when you include every round of pickups, reshoots, whatever you want to call them, there was less than a week of total additional photography on Superman. So what? That doesn't... that doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't matter. You could have had an entire 24/7 week. It was just a week. Yeah, we were just working round the clock, 24/7. Or they could have just, worked a couple hours each day. That doesn't tell us it. I've been told. Sure, okay. Sources say. Sources, God, everything. Just always centered and bland. Centered, bland, and bald-headed, people. Bald-headed. There was some minor disagreement on some policy issues between Germany and Poland all those years back, people. That's true. Oh, well, I had another one here, Amy. I don't know if I want to go through this one or not. This is kind of an old school Hollywood kind of story. I wanted to do kind of a compare and contrast. Compare and contrast. I might kind of, I may want to truncate this a little bit. This is a long article. Very long article about this fellow here. Barry Diller. Let's see. Beverly Hills Cop. Let's see. Does it say in here? Let me see. Beverly Hills Cop. Flashdance. Terms of Endearment. Saturday Night Live Fever. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Launched the Fox Network. With minor TV series like, The Simpsons, Married with Children, 21 Jump Street. So this is kind of one of these old school, he gave this untested, unknown fella named Steven Spielberg his very first movie. He helped out a couple people along the way. Anyways, he had a book that came out here. I might want to truncate this just a little bit here. By the way, if you ever want to read up, gosh dang it, go check out Robert Evans. He's an interesting fella out there. Robert Evans was. Where was I? Gosh dang it. But I wanted to just make mention of some of what's going on here. Kind of compare and contrast. Compare and contrast. Let me just jump into this. I would recommend, if you got a moment, go down to the description. I got a link down there if you want. Maybe some weekend reading. It's a very good interview. P.I. says, oh my goodness, I haven't thought of Johnny Depp in 21 Jump Street in forever. Well, he was the guy that helped get little old Johnny Depp into a little unknown thing called 21 Jump Street. So, there you are. Anyways, what does he think? Now what's going on, man? What's going on? I'm just going to jump straight meter res right into this. He's asking about Hollywood being run by tech companies. He says that Netflix, Amazon, Apple, they control the game now, but they don't have any real roots in the community. Didn't grow up yearning for Hollywood. They don't care about the history, its mythology. Their interests are driven by entirely different models. Amazon doesn't care if your movie is good. They care if it keeps people subscribed to Prime and buying stocks. He says, do you think that's true of Netflix as well? Says The Hollywood Reporter and Meyer Roshan. Mazel tov. Netflix won't even tell you how many people watched your movie because they don't want you to know. Their business is entirely in the algorithm. They care about satisfaction across a vast catalog. But your individual film is just another tile in the grid. It's no big deal if it succeeds or fails. So they ask here at the Hollywood Reporter, how do you make something that lasts in this environment? He says that's the problem. Great work doesn't sit in the culture anymore. It's gone in a flash. One of the biggest movies of the year, Minecraft. It wasn't even in the top 10 anymore. Sinners, great movie. Hanging in there, number, 6 or 7? 6 or 7, right? 6. Thunderbolts, going down, counting 2 with Amazon and everything. So, yeah, I would agree. One hand clapping in the forest. We used to have shows that 50 million people watched on the same night. Now someone gets 7 million, it's a smash hit. And Warner Brothers was like beating their chest because The Last of Us, had like 3 million viewers. It's like, yay, look at us. He's like, I created The Simpsons. It's like, I Think I Know, or 21 Jump Street. Married with Children had way more viewers on a, episode 8 out of a 20-something episode series than Last of Us did on their opening or closing episodes. There's just too many options, too much noise, and streaming, while miraculous in its own ways, has fractured everything. I would disagree with him here just a little bit. There's always going to be way too many options. I don't like, and he's a lib. Of course, he's going to talk this way and all this other stuff. Consumers out there, they got way too much choice. That's not the problem. I would say they lost their pots. It used to be a great curation out there. Think of like the radio. God, I'm aging myself here. You had your DJs, and you had your songs in the rotation list and everything. But every once in a while, they might pull out a B-side or something like that and play that, or an artist that you hadn't heard of that isn't in the rotation. Hey, DJ so-and-so out here, go check out the newest from blah, 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 blah. And people would find out about that. Now you go onto Netflix and it's like 100 tiles and you don't know what's good or what's bad. So I disagree with him there, but let's see, is that why you got out of the movie business? Asked Hollywood Reporter. We stopped producing movies a couple years ago. If we were starting out today, I don't think I would do it. Now, this guy came out with, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark, just minor movies like that. I don't think I would do it. It's not about the breadth of the audience. It's about the sense you were part of something, that your work had cultural gravity. That's hard to feel now. The community is gone. They say, is it nostalgia? Do you believe the system was better then? It's not about better or worse. They say, I'm sorry, I don't know why this keeps doing that. They used to be kind of inbred, incestuous kind of town, to quality. That was actually pretty good. It breathed its own air, it smelled its own farts. It had a small town feeling. Now it's just an outpost of the cloud. What about the audience, they asked? Does it care anymore? We used to make movies or TV shows that you could immediately feel the impact, he says. People talked about it, it lingered, a hit movie could live on for a whole summer. Now things drop on a streaming service, maybe a trend for a weekend, and then disappear. And I would put Superman right up there with it. Look how fast Superman's gonna fly out of the theaters and come into Max. Pardon me, HBO Max. What would you say? 6 weeks? 8 weeks, maybe? Star Wars. That was in the theaters for like a year and a half. Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was in for probably, 6-8 months, something like that. So yeah, I would agree. Let's see, Indiana Jones. Yeah, there's minor independent films. Yeah. And then the record companies bought the radio stations, and music never really recovered. True, Amy. Yeah, I would agree with that. But again, you would still have a little bit of curation. You would still have a little bit of, the DJ, the producer out there that had the knowledge of all that stuff and says, hey, audience, I know what kind of audience I have here. You might like this. It could work, it could not. But instead, we have like, okay, here's what we have here. Go for it. Choose something. It just doesn't quite work the same. Again, unless it's word of mouth. But again, it goes pretty quickly. They say you left Hollywood when it's still riding high. These days, a lot of people seem to be writing it off. Do you share in that pessimism? I don't think the Hollywood studios will go out of existence, he says. But I think they'll be much smaller operations than they have been in the past. I would hope so. I would hope either spin-offs or trust busting would come in so not every studio is owned by a conglomerate. The days of dominating media have passed, and Hollywood will never recover from that. Hollywood is now under the dictatorial realm of the tech companies, so they're a smaller piece of the pie. Ain't that true? Ain't that true? You've been pretty critical of the tech overlords' impact on Hollywood. What don't they get about entertainment? He says they're just different. Their brains are trained differently. Their tech is binary ones and zeros. You have these giant corporations controlling the culture, now where the person at the top has never actually made anything. Whew. It's astounding, he says. They're overseeing entertainment without ever having touched it. System designed for predictability and efficiency. Exactly the opposite of creative work. That's the tension. Someone like Steve Jobs, now he was an artist, and Edison, but those kind of people are rare. He says, I actually think Bezos is closer to Jobs than most people give him credit for. He's got enormous wisdom and a giant head, but most of the others are pretty flat, including Musk, apparently. They say, you mentioned in the book that you never use data. This is what I'm trying to get to here, people. You never use data on your research to guide your creative decisions. Why is that? They say because data can't predict anything meaningful in creative work. It can't tell you if something's a good idea or bad idea. I can't tell you if a performance is brilliant or flat. You know, back in the day, we had all those dial test screenings. People turning a knob when they liked something or didn't. Utter nonsense, he says. Garbage in, garbage out. You have to trust your gut. That's the only thing that works. Most people are so insecure about keeping their jobs, they need data to justify every decision. It's like, don't blame me, blame the data. I prefer to go with my gut. That's what we were just talking about here. Underwent significant changes after test screening. Now, if you wanted to go after James Gunn and you wanted his particular brand of humor to run your entire studio, then you say, James Gunn, come on in, do your thing. They gave him all of the power, and then when his movie comes up, they come in like vultures and say, okay, well, we got to get rid of the composer. We got to get rid of the editor. We got to throw out this humor. We got to do... I'm not saying it's good or bad, but that's what they did here. That's why Barry Diller is like saying, no, no, no. They ask, has your gut ever steered you wrong? He says, oh, endlessly. I've backed plenty of turkeys. They didn't list those. But the process is still better than anything else I know. It's how I've always made decisions, with his gut. Whether it's a show, a movie, or even an ad campaign. He says, I remember recently we were casting a voice for the new Hotels.com campaign. We tested 4 options, and the worst, whiniest voice tested highest. I said, nope. We're going with the one that actually sounds right, and we did because your ear knows better than a darn focus group. Warner Brothers Discovery. So, very, very interesting article. I wanted to compare and contrast, kind of old school Hollywood with the new tech stuff that they have nowadays. So, anyways, a very, 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 very long article. I recommend go checking it out here. They talk about his book and all this other stuff. And, oh, he came out as gay and yada yada yada. It's like I don't care that he's gay. Just make sure you do good movies. It doesn't matter to me. So, very interesting article. If you want to find out stuff about old school Hollywood and how it kind of ran and everything and why, some people are nostalgic for that, go check it out. Hollywood Reporter, it is in the description, people. Let's see. Oh, holy cow. Let me go, let me look this. Let me go back with the chat here. 1 second, people. Let's see, I wonder what the budget on Indiana Jones was. I got no idea. Amy comes back $20 million. They made Raiders of the Lost Ark for less than $20 million. What is that in today's money, though? Let's see, they made it back in the 80s, so... I would guess probably a $80 to $100 million movie these days. I would assume. Thanks, Biden. Probably right around there, I would imagine. But yeah, and factor in 200 million back then, so probably I don't know, close to $1 billion, I guess. So yeah, pretty good. Would Mr. Gunn, oh, for crying out loud, Amy, would Mr. Gunn be better for a Superboy movie? Oi, I'm not gonna go there, Amy. I am not. You might want to trick Bear, but I'm not going there, man. Not going there at all. Let's see. Peabody says, I actually wonder, not including inflation, is CGI cheaper than practical effects? Boy, does that depend. Boy, does that depend. I'm trying to think of a good example, Peabody. I would say something like Total Recall. Okay, let's just say Total Recall. They had some computer graphics in there, but it was mainly like mats. It was mainly what they call mats. Essentially, you're shooting, let's just say your characters, your actors on the stage, and you see the characters, and then you're putting in essentially like it was like an early version of a green screen. So you'd have a completely different background in the background. So Mars, for example. And then they had the practical effects of, Quato, within the guy's gut. That was all practical effects. You could probably do it for CGI, but would it look as real as the practical effects do? So I think your question is better asked, is the practical effects, does the CGI look as good as the practical effects for a cheaper price? That would be a better question to ask. It depends. I would say nowadays it's cheaper to do CGI because you have way more CGI companies than you do practical effects companies. Back then you had more practical effects companies, so you could choose between them. And you weren't competing for a whole lot of different practical effects companies. You might be competing for the best, but you weren't competing for a whole lot, where you might be competing nowadays. So that's where I would go with it. Is it might be easier to go in camera and just do practical effects than CGI. Like Mission Impossible, that was mostly practical effects. Him dangling off of the airplane, that was real. That was 100% Tom Cruise dangling off an airplane. The CGI is they put in little cables that, he wasn't going to fall to his death. But if he fell, he was going to fall. He was still going to be attached to the airplane, but he was going to fall. He was doing all those stunts. The wind was still, battering his face and everything. All that was practical effects, but they just used CGI just to take out the cables. That was it. So, it kind of depends. Kind of depends on what you want to do. Amy gives Bear a big number. 77... $77 million, $621,116.15. There you go. Three Boob Lady wasn't CGI, Peabody. Those were real. Well, they might not have been real, but they were real enough. So you spend $75 million movie and make $750 million. Not bad. Not bad at all, sir. It just seems to me even a single smart person with a decent enough laptop can do decent CGI. Okay, here's where it gets interesting, Peabody. Yes, CGI costs have went down. Yes, but your audience is expecting that much more, right? So, let's just say, for example, the filmmaker with the laptop could probably make the CGI dinosaurs that were in Jurassic Park by himself using Adobe effects and some good training in there, and he can do that for a fraction of the cost. But when it goes out, people are going to say, yeah, that looks like Jurassic Park from whatever 25 years ago. Longer than that, right? 20, almost 30 years ago. So they're going to compare. They're going to compare that. So they're going to say, yeah, that doesn't look that good, as compared with. Gosh, I'm trying to think of a good. I guess again, Total Recall would be a good one. Look at Total Recall then and see how much it still stands. Let me give you a better one. The first Mission Impossible movie, with the train sequence at the very end. That sequence still holds up today. They were using cutting edge effects way back then. It still holds up. But stuff from the same time period might not still hold up, even though they spent a whole bunch of money on it. So, and it also depends how well that gets factored in. Gosh, I don't have it here with me, but I've been complaining about the Superman kaiju monster. You've probably seen it in some of the trailers and some of the stills where he's out there fighting that big monster. And I'm like, this monster just looks god awful. It looks like it came from a single guy there on a laptop, came up with Adobe After Effects of a giant monster and just composed it into this scene. It doesn't look good at all. It might have looked great 25 years ago, 30 years ago, but it doesn't look good today. So it kind of depends on where you're at. So, there you go. Thanks, Beer. This is an interesting discussion, says P-Money. Sure thing. This might be an interesting subject to look into more into a future episode. Okay, all right. Oh, Amy has to head out. Off to read, she says. Off to read. Well, Amy, I hope both you and Melissa have a great weekend, a great Sunday tomorrow. Enjoy your reading. Come on back here Monday where we're going to do another chat council. Hope to have you then. Well, people, I did have one extra thing, but I'll save that for the next time. We had a great little discussion, as P-Money says, on kind of classic Hollywood compared to these days, CGI then, CGI now. Interesting stuff, people. But let's leave people. Let's leave P-Money just a little bit hungry here. We'll go ahead and wrap it up here at the very end. Amy's got to head out. So that means Bear will go ahead and head out as well, people. Want to thank Amy and Melissa as well for showing up. Telling Bear, what was it? What was the name of it? The great, what was his name? The great, Sharnak. Sharnak the Magnificent. Thank you so much. And of course, all of our Russian bots and lurkers. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for Bear. He would definitely appreciate it. But you know what? All of this talk about classic Hollywood has made Bear hungry. So he's going to head back, people, into the woods. So until next time. Grrrr. Night, everyone.